Let's try to read. We have reached a level of technology that is doing more harm than good. Okay, let's read the description. I think the mid late 2000s were the peak of technology. They provided enough connectivity but not enough for it to be counterproductive. Okay, of course, I'm speaking generally. Even decades down the line, there will be some technological advancement here and there that will be beneficial. Most people agree that smartphones and social media ruined the world, and now AI. I don't think, and I don't think that smartphones have ruined the world. I do think that social media has ruined a lot of things, or what we thought. It didn't work out exactly the way we thought it would. Boomers don't like the new technology. Gen Z don't like the new technology. Even millennials are already nostalgic for the 90s, 2000s. Even Gen Z agree that smartphones, social media, AI have problems. I don't think, this generalization is key part of the argument. Let's move on. I find it interesting that it has already been few years that people have been using YouTube as time machine, because it seems like most things have stopped. It has been years that movies, music, video game, etc. have peaked and their quality is just going down. I have to agree. It is like anything original has already been done. Despite advances in science, we are less prepared for pandemics. Despite increasing connectivity, we are more polarized than ever. We are. So people are paradoxically using new technology to revisit the past. Yes, because technology is basically, what you do with the technology, it's up to you. And if masses of the people are just not interested in, for example, science, and they are interested in polarization, this is what we will get. Technology is just a tool. So you decide how to use it. Some people use it in a right way, other people use it in a wrong way. Or, which is a right way, and as per them, and it suits their needs, like for politicians. And I imagine the same will happen with AI. I think it will be interesting to use AI to create novel situations such as photos and videos with the theme of old times. For example, if you're nostalgic about your childhood in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s, you could use it to construct your childhood by making a video of someone that is supposed to be you going around somewhere that looks like childhood house and neighborhood. Cool. Basically recreating your childhood. Oh my, I don't want to do that. Already people are doing these sort of nostalgic trips with YouTube, so AI will take it to the next level. It is interesting, but it begs the rhetorical question: if we are using this new advanced technology to go back in time, isn't it kind of paradox? I think you might be using for going back in time. Not everybody is doing that. So that's the one thing. The second thing I want to say here is different people do different things with technology. So someone might be using the same technology for advancing human life, and other people might be using the same technology to destroy humans or to kill humans. I mean, all sort of things can happen with the same technology. So it's sort of a tool. It's not sort of a tool. It is literally a tool, and it is up to you how you use it. You can have a knife and you can use it for a murder, or you can use it to cut the fruits. It is up to you. Let's move on. Let's read the comments. Let's go, my friends. Let's go and see the comments. Back in 1990 and again in 2012, a lot of people were worried about the world coming to an end. In hindsight, a lot of things did come to an end. We just couldn't see it at that time because we lacked the proper perspective. Now we can see that technology has done the opposite of what it promised. And instead of uniting us, it has nurtured deep divisions among people all over the world. Yes, broadly speaking, I agree with this point. Let me highlight this and let me reread this. Now we can see that technology has done the opposite of what it promised, and instead of uniting us, it has nurtured deep divisions among people all over the world. Yes, I was thinking about that recently. I joked that the Mayans were actually right about 2012, because that is pretty much when the whole smartphone, social media, polarization stuff escalated, and it's been downhill since. I think I think quite honestly, I don't think that 2012 was the peak point. I think the invention of short form content such as Reels and TikTok and Instagram Reels have caused this downfall very, very fast. And now I think we are going down pretty fast, and I don't know, how are we going to stop? And I don't even know how, if even if this is uh, possible, you know. So yeah, let's read more comments. Great post, OP. You are absolutely right. Around about the advent of smartphones plus 5 years for smartphone mass adoption, for me, it's been a gradual decline in civic life since about that time. I would argue that, you know, okay, let me not argue and let me read the comment first. Look up Mark Fisher. He has excellent lectures on the cancellation of the future. Okay, sorry. We stopped progressing culturally thanks to the internet diffusing attention into million different directions. Now it's casual. It's hard to, not agree with this. Let's read more. The internet and smartphones also eliminated boredom. Boredom is necessary for our creative impulsive. I agree with this point. This is a very good point. This OK underscore information underscore 2009 is has made a very good point. The internet and smartphone also eliminated boredom. Boredom is necessary for our own creative impulse to create rather than just consume. Due to feeling hyper connected via our smartphones, we become more isolated in aggregate. We live in a hyper individualistic society, or oxymoron if there was one. All my need can be met via a grid of apps on my phone. Convenience has killed society. Convenience has killed society. Wow, what a phrase. Let me highlight this. This looks like a very killing comment. Now actual real people are just those who get in your way. People now are just those who make queues longer, make your favorite fish sell out before you could buy it, disturb your peace, take your job custom. Okay. I know someone will push back and say not that bad. I grew up in the late 70s onward. It is bad today by the standard of wanting to feel part of community. To feel that each year has its own music style. To feel a part of something. To feel seen in a good way by local community. These are the great intangibles of a good life. I think I just want to be cautious here. I just want to be a little bit cautious here and say that, we try to underestimate how good present times are and how bad the past was. So, we should not be completely negative. Although I think the invention of short form content has, pushed humanity downwards, I feel overall, but it's not, it's only a one part of the technology. And if you are smart, you can avoid it. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to use that technology. And then what you can do is find like-minded people and create small groups that can think independently. And I think that is what we need to do. And we are trying to do this with this channel. So please subscribe. I know someone will push back and say, okay, I have already read that. Let's move on. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's a little bit more. Honestly, I haven't. Okay, let me upvote this, because I like. Okay, why am I not able to upvote? I don't know what is wrong. But anyway, honestly, I haven't thought about it much, but you talking about each other having its own music style makes me realize that the last 8 or so years have felt completely unchanging and lifeless. Yes. Also, I know, I think we are not innovating as much as we used to. What we are actually doing is our focus is not on innovation. Our focus is on productivity. So we are trying to make everything fast. For example, to code the software project, it used to take years. Now it takes months, maybe a week. If it is a, rough, if it is a, small project, maybe a, sometimes even a day you could achieve productivity of weeks or months, if I compare it with few years ago. So yes, I mean, but still it's the same thing. You are writing the code to produce the output. So you're just doing it faster. For example, the trains were invented a long time ago, and now our focus is, from last few, I mean, possibly, half a century has been to make the train fast. This is what we are doing. It's a good thing. We are able to do it, but it's not, no one is making, it's not an innovation in a way. It is an innovation, but it is not really a new innovation. It is productive innovation, if that's the word, that we are trying to make things productive, or we are trying to make system productive, or we are trying to make process productive. So our stress is on productivity a lot. And I don't know, after one point, it seems like it's not a, good idea, or, after one point, it just seems a little bit cringe. Like, for example, with AI. So let's read more. Don't forget misinformation. Yeah, misinformation, you should stop taking any information from social media. But the thing is, you can stop, but other people won't stop. And then, like, it's you at any point, you also have to understand at some level what other people think, because you want to make a accurate assessment of where you are and what people around you are thinking. And if people around you are making their judgments based on Instagram post, then you have to understand that what they are thinking is based on Instagram. And then, it sort of becomes your responsibility to stay in touch with misinformation. Like, this is so weird. Like, because if you like, it depends, how much you interact with people. If your job is interacting with people at some level, then you should know what this person might be thinking, because something is going viral. I don't know whether I'm making sense or not. Probably not, but sometimes you are in the situation that you should be aware about misinformation, that what information is going through people's mind which is misinformed, but you have to be aware about that they are misinformed by it, and they can act on that misinformation so that you can save yourself in that situation. Or, you are not surprised. Basically, you have figured out that this can happen, and now you are not surprised by it. So that's that type of thing, if it makes sense to you. So let me read a next comment. You aren't wrong. You are not wrong. I would challenge you, however, to zoom out. For the first time in human history, all humans have access to all other humans. With the click of a button, we're able to share our deepest thoughts and most valuable interpretations of this world. That said, no one prepared us for this. No one gave us context or trained us on how to communicate with each other. I think, isn't this obvious about how to communicate with each other? If the internet showed up, allowed us to find each other, and if you think about it, what comes next is common sense. I don't agree with all this, because the social media is engineered in a way that it tries to rage bait you all the time, so that your interaction is more with that platform. So thousands of engineers are working on your attention, and by the way, trillion of dollars have been invested to get your attention. And then we just can't leave it and say, that people don't have common sense, or people don't know how to communicate. Maybe their mind is getting that information by design, and someone wants them to be angry about the stuff so that they spend more time in these platforms. And overall it becomes like this is called a hooked model, where they are hooked on the platform and they are not able to get out of it. And anger and hate is a very strong emotion, and it is very difficult to get rid of these emotions. And when there are engineers, and then when trillion of dollars are going into how to make people stay on the platform, trillion of dollars are we are investing into it. So there is a reason why all this is happening. It's not just like people are brainwashed into doing these things. And I think the blame has to be shared by those people who have done this at some level. So that's my one of the opinion. Let's move on. We had so many different cultures and religions and ways of life. We were guaranteed to clash. I believe we are just experiencing that clash right now while we figure this thing out. I truly believe that long term we will. I don't think like. So here is the thing, like few people in the world are opinion makers, and few people in the world are designing this technology, and it's their job somewhat. The leaders, maybe they are leaders of their countries, maybe they are like designing, maybe the person who made Reddit, the person who made Facebook, or the teams that are working on these products. They are responsible to push people in certain direction because they are making the opinion. And you can again, culture, religion, all this, you can make them the excuse for the clash if you want to for your gains. And that's what people do. So I think those people are responsible who use these things to generate the clash. And I think those person, and then on top of it, the social media is designed in a way that if you are, it's basically a way where you see lot of rage baiting going on. And a lot of people are consciously making those choices. They're consciously trying to shift the focus of the society towards clashes or towards the things, that will cause us to fight. And I think those people are responsible here. We just can't say that someone is watching and consuming this content and now he alone or she alone is responsible for all the things that are happening. I think at some level, those decision makers and opinion makers are also responsible for all those things. Let's move on. Friends, let's move on. The rate of change to take and always... Okay, yes. When you look at the rate of rest of the humanity, the rate of change to tech and ways of life over the last 100 years is insane when you look at the rest of humanity. We never stood a chance of getting it exactly right and of finding peace through it all, but we were getting there. We can't give up hope. Yes, I think here is the thing, though. Okay, so here is the thing. We can't give hope. It's not up to us. As I said, there are like few people who have all... We don't even know how the algorithm works that is feeding you the information. You don't know that. Okay? That algorithm is not open source, unfortunately. That algorithm is... you don't know how that algorithm works. So, you have to understand that. So that has to be understood as well. It has divided by uniting people though. Yeah. Some people are delusional enough to believe that someday somehow everyone will agree on everything and we can be united. But that exact mindset is what keeps us divided. If only everyone would agree with me because I am righteous, then we could all be united. Yes, I agree with this person. All people cannot be same. And I think we are at this point that we have to accept this as a fact that not all people are same. Some people will think differently, but we should coexist and we should not try to kill each other if we just think different. So that's has to become the norm, but I think it will take a long time for it to become a norm. Or might be this will never happen. I don't know. I have very less hope about this. Then we could all be united. What will unite us is the acceptance that everyone will not agree. And the greatest thing about the universe is exactly them, freedom and choice. I agree with this completely. But unfortunately, that's not what happens at all. People will force you to be like them. And unfortunately, that's what the situation is. Let's read. Again, technology is blessing. It is who controls and dictates it uses that is the problem. It is who controls and dictates its use that is the problem. Yes. This is what, this comment has encapsulated what I want to say perfectly. Now, here is the thing though, right? There is people are trying to make money using the technology, and it is what, this is what it's all about. And now if you want to make money through social media, you need eyes, and you can get eyes or audience visually very quickly by using something that they already believe in and tell them exactly that. Do not even try to change anything. Do not even try to say that their ideas about the world might be wrong. For example, if someone believes that the earth is flat, as a YouTuber, you don't go to him and say, no, you are wrong. As a YouTuber, you go and make the video why earth is flat, and then you get the community of people who believe why the earth is flat. They watches you, and then you get to earn the money. That's how it is. This is just an example. This is happening at many levels, but this is just an example of how the things are at this moment. Let's read more comments. Wrong, because technology and science affects people just like drugs. They are dragged into it so much they lose everything in the end. It's the worst kind of addiction you can have, and now we see its negative effects. in all their glory. In the short term, it all is benefits. Okay. But in the long run, it will destroy us. It will consume us all, no matter if we are aware of its negative, destructive, long-term impacts. Not to mention the bad behavior and thinking of people as well. Both science and technology are good servants in the short term, but bad and actually evil and destructive must say not true at all. I think this is probably the reverse, or maybe he's being sarcastic. I don't know. Butterfeet political dog enjoy to run. I don't know what does it mean. My hope is that we begin to look at tech the same way we view junk food. In that it's out there, it's prevalent, and if you want to eat 2 boxes of Twinkies a day, you can certainly do it. We need to fully grasp the danger and implication of non-stop smartphone usage and develop tech hygiene just like we do with exercise, food, and lifestyle. Now, this post was written 1 year ago, and I think the situation right now is even worse than that. So we have moved in a negative direction. My hope is that we begin to look at the tag the same. Okay, I have already read this. 1984, George Orwell. This book has become reality. It's more Brave New World, I think. I have not read 1984 and I have not read Brave New World, so I can't comment on that. I think that tech has allowed us to circumvent evolution, but it's growing quicker than we can adapt to it. I think the tech has not grown that much. The tech has been the same. It has just become faster. It has not like, in some cases, it has actually become slower, but it has become faster for like smartphone. And in a way, like your internet has become faster. Like you remember a few years back, the internet was not that fast, and now it is super fast. And because of that, this short form content has become possible, because your internet is so fast that you don't even feel like these things are coming from connection or network. You feel like, these things are just on your phone sometimes, right? So I think that I don't think so tech has evolved. I think almost everything we have now, we used to have like 15 years back too, but now it has become much more usable and faster. And I think it has a lot of drawbacks. There is a Russian proverb which I will share with you now. Once you believe you have hit rock bottom, something knocks from below. In truth, we haven't even realized the full extent of these emerging technologies. We are now only scratching the surface, and it seems like we won't stop until we have reached out at the bottom of whatever new emerging technology comes along. So now and yes to your assertion. So no and yes to your assertion. Technology isn't getting unproductive. It is instead getting hyper productive. So productive that it will replace a lot of workers doing same job as a fraction of cost. The people are okay. So if you want to understand how blank, you can read it yourself. Was the documentary The Social Dilemma? Here is a synopsis. Most Facebook employees don't allow their children to use Facebook. I do believe a group of people said this about the Loom some time back, called themselves Lude. I don't know. And most of it we aren't even aware of, although it is being used against us. Yes, this is the tragedy, of education. We have created a lot of educated idiots that don't even understand anything. They are still the same. People are still the same as they were like 50 years ago. And that's like, education has failed us all, maybe. The machine will not slow down, okay? I feel like perhaps we weren't ready for this level of connectivity. I don't agree that we were not ready. I think investors all around the world have invested large amount of money so that they can have your attention. They can feed you what they want to feed you so that you do what they want you to do. That's how it is. And you have to realize that and rise above that. And maybe in some ways, don't try to change the world. First, try to change yourself. First, try to understand that yes, manipulation is possible through these platforms, or like in past, manipulation was happening through other forms. Now those forms still exist, but with social media you can do manipulation at much higher scale, because no one is bored, no one is actually thinking a lot, no one is even thinking for a minute or two, and no one is stopping and trying to make sense of the things. So they just accept what are they told as a reality, and then it's all over. They are in your control. And once you realize that this manipulation is possible, then maybe you can do something about it. Let's read more. I think technology is a virus that propagates through human weakness. Wow. Okay, anyways, I think I have read enough about this post. Okay, here we go. We have reached a level of technology that is doing more harm than good. So yeah, I think that's it. So leave the comment if you want me to read something. You can, you can leave the comment that, this is interesting and we should read it together. So feel free to do that. Okay.